Oh, wow. Byrne family in the house. Perfect. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom from Montgomery, Alabama. Shabbat shalom. I hope everybody's staying cool this summer and everyone's having a great summer. No. Oh, so yeah, we're gonna start off. I'm really glad to be back. It just warms my heart to see everybody here. We're going to start with Psalms 95 through 99, and I'd like to ask for volunteers. So 95. So David, 96, Marcia, 97, Ira, 98, Fern, and 99, last one, Emily. Okay. If I forget, please remind me. Okay. David, on page 11. Filled with thanks, let us greet God, raising our voice in song. Great is Adonai, a greater sovereign than all other deities. God's hands formed the earth deep. Mountain crests too are God's work. The sea is God's, for God made it. Dry land was fashioned by God's hand. For Adonai is our God, and we are God's flock, sheep in God's caring hands. Saw in the desert when your ancestors tried me and tested, though they had seen what I had wrought. For 40 years I was troubled by that generation, and I said, these people whose hearts have gone astray, they do not know my way. So in anger, I swore they would not enter my rest. Marcia, page 13. Tell the nations of God's glory, speak of God's wonders among all peoples. For Adonai is great, surely to be praised, more revered than other gods. For the gods of the nations are man-made idols, but Adonai fashioned the very heavens. Out to Adonai in the glory of this holy place. Tremble before God's presence, all who dwell on earth. Announce among the nation, Adonai reigns. The land is firm, they will not be moved. People will be truth judged. Amen. We continue with Psalm 97. Is that, yeah. Clouds and thick darkness surround the divine. Righteousness and justice secure God's throne. Fire goes before God, consuming besiegers round about. The heavens tell of God's righteousness, and the nations see God's glory. Zion hears of it and rejoices. The cities of Judah exult. As you, Adonai, pass judgment. Those who love Adonai hate evil. God protects the lives of the faithful, saving them from the hands of the sinful. Thank God. I believe it's Fern on page 17. Page 17. Declared deliverance. As nations looked on, God's righteousness was revealed. Break out in joyful singing. Sing to Adonai the music of the lyre. Lyre and the voices making music together. With horns and shofar cries, trumpet the presence of the sovereign Adonai. Amen. And our page 19, our last one for Emily. Adonai is great in Zion, above all nations. They shall acknowledge your name, saying, Great, awe-inspiring, Holy One. Exalt Adonai, our God. Bow down before God, Holy One. Exalt Adonai, our God, and bow down at God's holy mountain. For Adonai, God is holy. Thank you. We continue with Lecha Dodi on page 23. Lecha Dodi likra kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmianu Elamei echad, Adonai echad, Ushemo echad, L'shem tiferet ve'letila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likra kala, Penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala, Penei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava techila. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi likra kala, pene Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likra kala, pene Shabbat nikabela. Mikdash melech ir melucha, kumitzei mitocha hafecha, rav lach shevet be'emek habacha, hu yachamol alayechem la. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi likra kala, pene Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likra hakala, pene Shabbat nikabela. We turn to page 25. On the last paragraph, we rise and face the entrance to welcome our Sabbath bride. Boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala, gam besimcha uvetzohola toch emunei am segula, boi chala, lecha dodi likra kala, pene Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likra hakala, pene Shabbat nikabela. Page 30, the Mourner's Kaddish. If you are in mourning, please remain standing. Otherwise, you may be seated. The Mourner's Kaddish on page 30. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabah. Me'alma divra chirute v'yamlich machute. B'chayechon uvyamechon uvchaye d'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru. Yehe shmei rabba mevarach le'olam ulamei amaya. Yit barach v'yit tabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit raman v'yit naseh. V'yit tadar v'yit daleh v'yit talal shemei dekudesha. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'oma v'imru, Yehe shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. Amen. It never ceases to amaze me that the Torah is always able, the weekly portion is always able to teach me something about life. Every year I go through and I read the exact same Torah portions, but every year the text is the same, but I'm different. And every year I read, it becomes a new Torah portion, which is just amazing to me. So this week's Torah portion is the rebellion of Korach. It features two villains, Datan and Abiram, who took great pleasure in torturing and becoming the bane of Moses' existence. You know, ancient Israelite bullies, if you will. In Egypt, Datan and Abiram betrayed Moses to Pharaoh. In the desert, they complained and questioned everything. And in this week, they finally challenged Moses' authority with many false accusations. And false accusations are the worst, aren't they? I mean, they immediately stain the person who is accused. Even if the person didn't do it and is able to prove they didn't do it, there's always going to be a question. There's always going to be a stain on that person. Within religious institutions, false accusations erode trust. Trust between the accused and the accuser. Trust between the accused and any talebearer that spreads such lies. Sometimes the talebearer is like, why do they do that? Sometimes they're stroking the egos because they're no longer relevant. Sometimes they're just bored because, it's something to do. Sometimes they lack the social awareness to know that they're hurting somebody. And other times they just lack the empathy to know how much it hurts. So, in my mind, Moses shouts to Datan and Abiram, I didn't do any of this. I didn't do any of this. This is ridiculous. But in the Torah portion, they see that Moses keeps his temper and he remains still in the face of such false accusations. And I'm fascinated this week. I was particularly fascinated with the question, how do you, withstand bullying and remain in character and remain with dignity? How do you endure such awfulness and not become angry, bitter? And certainly people have endured much worse awfulness and not become angry and bitter. So how do you do that? So in the Mishnah Torah, Rambam equates anger with idolatry. When we become angry, we become ruled by another. So the question becomes, how did Moses, faced with such thing, become so detached and stay calm? So we learned that Moses didn't rely on magic, didn't rely on medication. He didn't, drink or whatever. He used perspective to manage his reactions. If we're called to sacrifice in the Torah, it's considered idolatry to be angry before you become egos, before we become angry. And we have to change our perspective. So what is this new perspective that we have that can keep our dignity and keep our calmness and our joy? For me, I believe everything is a divine plan. Everything that happens, to me at least, or it's a perspective, you don't have to go into it, but this is the way I'm viewing it. Everything happens is orchestrated by God as a part of a master plan. Even false accusations are part of this divine plan. The Datans and Abirams of the world are part of the divine plan. If someone is a talebearer, they are choosing to do wrong, and God is allowing it to happen for some reason. Suffering is sometimes part of a larger cosmic purpose. And this offender, the person who's doing wrong, is accountable to God, not to you. Blaming others denies God's role. If we get angry at the person who wrongs us, we're essentially saying God wasn't involved. And this denial is a form of heresy. So anger becomes a form of spiritual disconnection. It banishes God from the moment, and which is why it's equated with idolatry. So as part of this, going back to this Torah portion, Moses, didn't grow angry at the insults and the false accusation. He was saddened, for sure, and he was disappointed, absolutely. But he accepted it as part of God's plan. And Moses never tried to control Datan and Abiram. He never tried to control the offenders. Moses left their judgment to God and was able to feel compassion instead of rage. We can and should make boundaries separating ourselves from the people who try to bully, abuse, and harm us. But we don't spend any energy trying to punish them or control their actions. That is authority. That is God's job. This week, let us experience the world with Moses' equanimity. Whatever is thrown our way, let us always keep our spiritual calm, keep our capacity to feel the warmth and joy of the world, a world where the overwhelming number of people are not like Datan and Abiram, a world where the overwhelming number of people are good. Shabbat Shalom. Let's continue on page 39 with the Baruch Hu. Baruch hu et Adonai hamivorach. Baruch Adonai hamivorach leolam vahed. Baruch et Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim. You may be seated. Barakia kiratzono. Boreyam v'laylo golel or mitnei choshek v'choshek mitnei or uma'avir yom u'me'evi layla umavdil ben yom u'vein layla Adonai tziva'ot shemo El chad v'kayam tamidim lo chaleinu le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai hamari v'aravim. Page 40. Avad olam beit Yisrael amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochveinu u'v'kumeinu nasiach bechukecha v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha Uvemitzvotecha leolam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu Uvahem nehege yomam v'layla. Va'avat char artusim imenu leolamim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Page 41. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatan levanecha v'dibarta bam B'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'leftecha v'aderech u'shokbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot meinenecha u'ktatam al mezuzot beitecha uv'yisharecha. Vayomar Adonai el Moshe lemor daber el bnei Yisrael v'amarta alehem v'yasu lahem tzitzit al kanfei bigdehem ledoratam v'natnu al tzitzit hakanfel pitav v'techelet v'haya lachem letzitzit Uraitem oto uzachartem et kol mitzvot Adonai v'asitem otam V'lo taturu acharei levavchem acharei nechem asher atem zonim achareihem leman tizkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hirtem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem le'elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem Emet. Let's read on page 44. You proclaimed the covenant on the seventh day, declared it and decreed it. We listened and we heard it. You loved this day we inherited, delighting in its remembrance. From the time you bestowed it, joy filled the hearts of Jeshurun, the people you redeemed. You exalted Shabbat as a sign between us forever. In 6 days your world was formed, and on the seventh day you rested. To honor your name, they sing songs of praise to the one deserving of praise. In page 44. Umachuta baratzu kiblu alehem, Moshe u'Miriam u'bnei Yisrael lechanu shira b'simcha rabba, ve'amru chulam, mi chamocha be'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef Malchutecha ra'uvanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe, Zeli anu ve'amru, Yimloch le'olam. V'ne'emar ki farad Adonai et Yaakov, uga'alo mi'achazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim, ufros aleinu sukkot shlomecha. Ushmor tzeitenu uvoenu l'chaim u'l'shalom me'atav yad olam, ufros aleinu sukkot shlomecha, baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukkot shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 46. V'shameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ויעמד יברח ירצה וימליך מלכותה, בחייך וביום אחד, ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה, ובזמן קריב אמרו, יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשא לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמיד רן בעלמא ואמרו. We continue with the silent Amida on page 47. Please rise. Take 3 steps forward and 3 steps back and then 3 steps forward, and say the prayers that are on the page or the prayers that are in your heart. Um, so if you are still praying the Amida, please continue to do so. But now the rest of us, we're going to pray the Mishaberach for those in need of healing, both spiritual, physical, and mental. We is praying for Marjorie Allen, Leanne Capuano, Suzanne Urbella, Lynn Ginsburg, Joy Richard, Michelle Zucker, Marcia Hudson, Gracie Hantrow, Madison Durr, Jack London. Does anyone else have a person they're praying for? Yes? Jeannie Martinez. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so then we continue with Misha Berach and Misha Berach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach Imoenu Mikor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We continue with the symbolic repetition of the Amida, page 53. Vayichulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'kol tzevam. Vayichal Elohim bayom hashvi melakto asher asa. Vayishbot bayom hashvi mikol melakto asher asa. Vayivarech Elohim et yom hashevi'i vayikadesh oto. Kivo Shabbat mikol melakto asher bara Elohim lahasot. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanara, El Elyon, Konei Shamayim va'aretz. Magen Avot Bidvaro, Mechaye Metim B'mamaro, Ha'el HaKadosh Ein Kamohu, Hameniach Le'amo B'yam Shabbat HaKodsho. Kivam Ratza Lehaniach Lahem, Kivam Ratza Lehaniach Lahem, Lefanav Navod B'yarav V'fachad, V'nodei Lishmo B'chol Yom Tamid, Me'on HaBrachot El HaHodaot, Adon HaShalom, Mekadesh HaShabbat M'varech Shevi, Umeniach B'Kedusha, Le'amikdush Neoneg, Zecher Lemase V'Reshit. Page 54. Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu Retzei b'Imnuchatenu, Tahachenu b'mitzvotecha, V'tein chelkenu b'toratecha, Sabenu mituvecha, V'samchenu b'yeshuatecha, V'taher libenu le'ovdecha be'emet, V'hankilenu Adonai Eloheinu be'ahava uvratzon Shabbat kodecha V'anuchu v'Yisrael mikadshei shemecha. Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh haShabbat. Yikadav yikadash shemei rabbah Be'alma divrach v'yoteh v'yamlich malchuteh b'chayechon v'yamechon v'chaydecho be'Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kari v'imeru. Yeheshme Rabba Mivarach Le'olam U'Ameh Yitbarach Yitbarach V'Yishtabach V'Yitpa'ar V'Yitraman V'Yitnaseh V'Yitadar V'Yitaleh V'Yitalashem V'Yikudashah Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tushbechata V'Nechemata Da'amiran B'Alma V'imeru Titkabel Slothonu Va'uton Dekol Yisrael Kadam Avuhon Divishamaya V'imeru Amen. Yahesh Lama Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chaim Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'imeru Ose Shalom Bimramav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Ve'imeru Amen. Page 56, the Aleinu, please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach laton hakol latet gedula liotzer breshit shelo asanu kegoe haratzot velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama shelo sam chelkenu kahem vegor aleinu kechol hamonam ve'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu notei shamayim ve'yosed haaretz umoshev yikaro b'shamayim imal ushkinatu zo begovhei meromim hu Eloheinu enod Emet Malkeinu Efesulato Kakatuv Betorato Vedatayam Vehashivota Elevavecha Ki Adonai Hu HaElohim Mashamayim Imal Ve'al ha'aretz mitachad Enod. Sorry. Kakatuv b'Torah Adonayim loch leolam va'ed v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo Ushemo Echad. We continue with the Mourner's Kaddish on page 58. Mourners remain standing. This week, we lovingly remember, if I say any of these names wrong, please shout out and correct me. This week, we lovingly remember Sophie Kulik, Albert Freeling, Tilly Goodman, Manuel Held, Solomon Rubin, Susanna Varone, Rose Berman, Jeanette Russo, Eli Capeluto, and Rachel Kapp. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to say any words about Malellan? Yeah. Did you want to?
No, except that I'm glad that she has a great granddaughter, Peter.
Oh, nice. Okay, thank you. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 58. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah Bialma divrach chirute v'yamlich machute b'chayechon u'vyamechon u'chaye techol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru Yehi shmei Rabba mivarach leolam ulamei almaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit raman v'yit naseh. V'yit tadar v'yit ale v'yit halal shemei dekudisha. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Ta'amiran be'alma v'imru. Yehesh lama rabba min shamaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Osei shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. May the one who creates peace on high bring peace to us and to all of Israel and to all who dwell on earth. And we say, Amen. Amen. Do you want to do announcements? So now for announcements.
Dinner, which is hamburgers or chicken sandwiches and mac and cheese and cookies and drinks, but not, really different. And it's $30 per seat and it was on April. Starts with an A, August. I have it on the homepage of the website, and then it'll be in the wiki from now on, but it's in suites. Where you don't have to suite one, suite two, so there's plenty of room for everybody, so, you just, look on the front homepage, and it'll tell you how to reserve your stay. Those are pretty fun.
Do you want me to read the rest of the?
We're gonna have to be Shabbat on August 3rd. And then, on August 3rd, don't forget the Sisterhood Book Club. And then Sisterhood is going to the Wizard of Oz at the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, which sounds like a lot of fun. Seating's limited, they've got 15 tickets that are reserved for Sisterhood, so click on it. Talk to Elaine, call Elaine, email Elaine, and that's on August 17th.
Yes. So I haven't officially announced it yet, but on August 2nd, so sorry, that's why it's not in the building because I haven't told you yet. August 2nd, we are having Tisha B'Av services, so please remember to come. We do have Tot Shabbat, July 26th. So if you have any grandchildren from 0 to 5 years old, come by. It's going to be run by our own Helene Lassen. There's going to be a lot of movement, a lot of song. It's going to be real fun. There'll be babies in the building. Woohoo! Yes.
Check reservation. And group seating closes July 1st. And then there was an announcement I got relating to Mallory.
Oh, there's a baby shower, and they have to make sure that Sisterhood, women, did you all get the email that has things, but okay, I don't know for sure, but the pictures, there's a boy, okay, I wasn't sure if there's a boy or girl, so, I think that.
Saturday's baby name?
Baby naming for the second, David and, July. Oh, that's neat. We were really out of time.
That's next week.
My brother.
Y'all got a lot going on. All right. Hopefully something there will pique your fancy and you'll go. All right. Let's do Adon Olam on page 211. And so let's conclude the service with Adon Olam, page 211. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Li'et Nasa B'chefza Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Be'acharei Kiklot HaKol Levado yimloch nora, vehu haya, vehu hove, vehu iye batifara, vehu echad ve'en sheni, lahamshil lo lehachbira, bli reshit, bli tachlit, velo haoz ve'hamisra, vehu eli vechad go ali, vetzor chavli be'etzara, vehu nisi umanosli, manat kosi be'yomekra, be'ado afid ruchi, be'et ishan ve'aira, ve'imruchi geviati, Adonai li velo ira. Shabbat shalom.